Okay, people. It is September 21st, 2021. I'm doing those grapes. I'm sitting here just going through BitChute, right? Just listening to various videos, whatever, okay? I'm taking out the seeds of these grapes. This is my first batch, okay? God has blessed me with a bountiful of grapes. This year, I've decided, well, this batch. I don't know about this year, but I'm not rushing with this video. First of all, people, I'm tired, and I just tell myself every day, just pace yourself through it. You can't get everything done that you want done in a day, right? You know, there's nothing you can do other than what you're doing at that time in terms of moving forward with your life. And in this case, we know why I'm doing this. I'm doing it for Amari, people, okay? I had to go out yesterday. I'm going to tell you this little story too, but just let me stay on track. I had to go out yesterday, right, to buy jars. Why are we not surprised? I'll show them to you later. I'm so happy I have jars and I know where to go get more if I need them. Which I might buy because I still have to go to the post office, remember? Okay, so anyway, I had to go get jars because I didn't have enough to can this stuff, and this stuff is so important for Amari. Alright, so anyway, what was I saying? What provoked me to turn on this camera right now? Okay. I can't call it an argument because it's not an argument yet, but it's been a bubbling kind of watch my hair. A bubbling kind of issue only because our governments, I feel like I feel hair in here. Yeah, there's hair. I lose my hair. Only because of what our governments have been doing. And that is, I guess Trudeau won the election. Okay? And the first question that came from that, after I was informed of that, was I going to get the inoculation? Because that's what he's pushing for. Because basically it was like, well, you know, it's just a matter of time. And I'm like, no, it's not just a matter of time. Because, you know, this is Tisha really saying, well, what you going to do about it? And I'm like, well, I'm going down swinging, people. I'm not taking it. I'm already not 100% optimum health, okay? I'm always working on overdrive to the point where I'm physically exhausted. Obviously, some days more than others, right? And I'm aging, right? It won't be long before I'm 60 years old. I'm only 59 right now. But in less than a year, half a year, I'll be 60. And I've had a hard life. Plus, I'm having real issues with my eyes. And that ringing in my ear. And pressure in the head and whatever. Okay. Oh, yeah, well, you do realize it's just a matter of time before you won't even be able to take a sky train. And I'm like, yeah, well, I'll cross that bridge when that time comes. That's the first thing. Slow down, take it one day at a time. That's really all you can do. Well, you know, before I lose my kids, I'm taking it. And I'm like, okay, I understand that. I mean, obviously I recommend you not to take it, but, all right. Are you taking it? I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not taking it, people. Well, what you gonna do then? I said, well, right? I said, well, I guess I'll go to jail. Right, I'll go to jail, and then I'll finally get my lawyer, people. That's what I told her. Because when I get in front of a judge, Uncle John's lawsuit's with me, Auntie ShaMay's lawsuit's with me, right? And Don't think that I don't sit here thinking about writing another one, 5 pages, for Ciera, and filing it before March of next year. Okay? So, if I'm committing this great crime, and I end up in jail, and I lose my grandkids because of it, right? And I guess that's just something I have to go through, people. That's what I told her, because somebody has to fight, right? I'm fighting for my grandkids, people, okay? I know it doesn't look like I'm fighting for my grandkids, but I'm fighting for my grandkids. And, but I told her, I said, before it gets to that point, there's going to be a lot of other people to which they're already starting to fight against this in terms of certain parts of the public union sector. Okay? Not all of them, but there are certain sectors and certain subgroups to those sectors that are fighting back and who have better resources, better connections, access to lawyers, right? That, I guess that you could say that's the first wave, right? In terms of standing up for human rights here, okay? And choice, right? And then I guess you could, and I tried to explain it to like this, when it gets to that point, and it, you know, I'm being cornered, do or die, well, I guess I'm going to die. I told her I'm the second wave. It's going to be, it won't come from me. I'm not strong enough by myself, people. I told Tisha that. We know that with Uncle John and the corruption. We know that with ShaMay and the corruption. It's nothing but entertainment for the government. Doesn't matter what the government is, because they use taxpayers' dollars to laugh in your face. Right? But it's the unions that have the manpower and that networking and resource base to actually, you know, hold the government to account. And it's not so easy for them to laugh at those people, individuals, right? And if for some reason they're faltering and they need more support, well, then it's going to be people like me that are going to stand our ground. Even if it means we lose everything and we end up in jail, right? And then ultimately in front of a judge. Unless, of course, Trudeau is bringing in those concentration camps where they can just lock you up for as long as they want without ever going in front of a judge. And then you just simply disappear with altered medical records that nobody will be able to access. And then I just simply told her, well, in that situation, just make sure my YouTube channel stays up. She got mad at me, people. She got mad at me. She doesn't... She's like, what, 22 years old? I'm almost 60, people. I'm not going to commit my grandkids to the rest of their life. I don't care what grandchild I'm talking about. To the rest of their lives. To being... Well... One, a guinea pig to government corruption, and two, to becoming junkies at the request of governments so that they can launder money through their fucking portfolios as they destroy lives and then accuse you of just being entertainment. So I have to stand my ground, people. You know, I want to cry. Because I am not committing any crimes. Okay? I'm trying to do the right thing. And my governments, more than one, are literally terrorizing my family. Okay, this is terrorism. This is homegrown terrorism. When you sit here and do something as simple as this, thinking that, one, you're either going to go to jail, you're going to be denied access to justice, right? Or if you do get access to a legal aid lawyer, you know, there is a probability that lawyer will be bought and paid for from the opponent that you're going to lose anyway, because we know how that works. But at the end of the day, if it takes one person like me to stand and say no, right? Then I guess that's what it's going to take. Even though I know it falls on deaf ears. However, I did remind my daughter that it's not falling on deaf ears because I'm not the only one that feels this way. Right? It's just I'm the one that's isolated and easy to exploit because of that manufactured poverty that basically made it easy for the government to exploit my family and not be held to account. But it's a whole different story when they're facing hundreds of thousands of people under one cause. And that's what I told Tisha. You just have to give it time to work itself out. But if need be, yeah, I'll go to jail, people. I've always said that. I've always said that. I shouldn't have to say that. I shouldn't be thinking about these things, none of these things. I told her, this Trudeau, he was under investigation for committing crimes. Like, right? He got accused of committing crimes, and whatever happened with that? Nothing. Some of his cabinet members got accused of committing crimes, right? Being a conflict of interest to charities and all this other crap that, ultimately kind of fall under the category of committing a crime. Nothing stopped that, right? I told her, however he got elected in, it's because it's fake. It was rigged in. It was rigged in. And I'll tell you something. This board director that, anyway, he's running a security team. He's not a lawyer no more. To bring in immigrants from India to go to school because that pipeline is kind of dried up. But if you notice, they're bringing in the Syrian families in the numbers of 7 to 9 people in one pop. So maybe they're not bringing in the international students or whatever from India so much, but they're still bringing in the large families from other places, right? That's taking up the housing or whatever. Okay, that's, And then as he's attacking Canadian-born people, such as myself and my family, making threats on us, literally, right? Inciting hate under the Criminal Code of Canada, literally inciting hate under the Criminal Code of Canada against those who have a difference of opinion, who can't afford to get sick on an experimental fucking basis of any kind, who's already had their grandchildren and children permanently physically damaged, if not dead, because of the shit that goes on in communities that obviously the government doesn't want to take responsibility for or control, right? Because this, brings in those dead bodies that they can capitalize off of, right? It creates extra incomes when they can do their snuff movies, and it's a side gig with the teeth that are being transplanted into something else that needs teeth, right? Government not doing nothing about that. They think it's all entertainment. Okay. So, it's very hard to, I don't want to say stay brave, but when your own family is challenging you to do something that you shouldn't be doing based on threats from a implanted individual that wants to call themselves a leader of a country, just so that certain sectors within our community, in terms of quote-unquote ethnic groups, right, can take strongholds of gainful employment opportunities, like, for example, security, so that these draconian implications can be brought in to what? Well, we already know. Just keep my YouTube channel up, because it's all there, people. It's all there. That's why I told her. I got mad. I said, just keep my YouTube channel up if something bad happens to me, for standing up for my grandkids. And for you, even though I know you don't appreciate it. Right? I'm not asking you to stand up against what I'm standing up against. Right? Because you're a new mom. Right? You love your children. Why would you want to lose them? You don't. So of course she's going to do what she's told, ultimately, if it comes to that, because of a corrupt political system that brought in a fucking criminal to represent Canada, basically, as he's making threats on the general population. Okay, think about it. Okay, me, I've already lost like 2 kids, well, kind of 3, because I don't have no real relationship with Brooks. You know, something happened to him. He's just a fool, so I don't have time for fools. I really don't, right? Right, so I can't depend on him for nothing, right? He calls me up and tries to talk to me once in a while, okay, fine, but at the end of the day, I'm more busy than I was when I first started having kids, right? And, you know, I lost Ciera, I lost ShaMay, I lost Uncle John. I'm working 10 times more harder than I've ever worked in my life, right? There are no more opportunities or futures because the government's basically taken everything away from the majority of people, the majority, worse than it's ever been, in that 2-tiered system that now has security at every fucking lock and key gate that you come into, right? So if you're in that kind of society, like, that's not no way to, that's just, so anyway, I'm just saying, people. And the government knows what they're doing. They are purposely pitting family members against family members. Amari has no life if he's going to be injured even more than he's already injured. The same is true for Andre. Okay? And if they want to attack their nana, me, and criminalize me and punish me for trying to cope with their fucking bullshit as they get richer and my family gets sicker and poor and slowly but surely disappear, yeah, I'm not your bitch. I'll see you in court. And if they don't give me court, then I guess there's that YouTube channel, assuming that doesn't get taken down. Right? So as far as I'm concerned, we have a criminal running the country of Canada right now. He should have been fired a long time ago. But you see, he was born for that position, people. He knew he was going to do that before he even got anywhere close to the Parliament buildings. He knew when he was a fucking kid what he was. And now he's just coming to the full bloom of it. Okay? He doesn't serve the people of Canada. He serves his master. That's what he serves. And I'm not afraid to stand up against that master, people. If it helps those who stand before me, because they're starting to stand, then great. I'm there. If I'm the only one standing, because I'm living in a la-la land, and I just don't see the tree past the forest, or whatever that saying is, then I guess so be it. I'm in La La Land, but I don't think I'm the only one trying to stand up here. And this is what I tried to tell Tisha. I'm not the only one. So don't expect me to do something that I don't want to do that could potentially make it so that my grandchildren don't even have me anymore. Okay? If I end up in jail, well, hopefully at least I'll have a chance of getting back to them. If I end up dead, poof, you're gone. Nothing moves except you. Okay? Been through it. Done it. Like I said, I live in 2 different fucking worlds here. Okay? I got everybody over there having dinner, right, that are dead, and then I've got everybody up over on that fucking side of the fence or window or whatever you want to say, having fucking dinner. The point is they're 2 different crews. Okay? Right now I'm still alive. So, I want, I work really hard to try and I don't know, give up. Don't want to give up. Right? A lot of people would have gave up by now. Would have given in to it. I haven't done that. So, okay. So the other thing is now, since I'm talking, I don't want to go on with it, okay? I'm just standing my ground, okay? I guess they're going to have to come in here and haul me out with sticky hands and all. Put handcuffs on me. Lock me up in a quarantine camp. As they raid my house of my food. Right? So, okay. Yesterday I had to go out because I needed jars. I have too many grapes, and grapes are really good. Right? And these ones are tasty, so. Anyway, I get out. In a nutshell, Andre and I and Amari were going to the thrift store to go get a couple of cases of jars. Plus, I was going to go look at Nestor's to see if they had jars too, right? So, we go to Nestor's first, and there's this guy outside with his little walker. I think he was a native guy or something like that. He asked if I had any spare change. And I said, well, I guess lucky for you, I do have a little bit, not a lot, because I normally don't keep change in my purse, but I knew I had some in my wallet, so I ended up giving him $6. Okay, whatever. And then we go to Nestor's. We discover they have jars, all right, but I already phoned the thrift store, all right, to make sure that they had jars because they're cheaper, right? And they're anywhere from $4 to $6 for a case of jars, depending on the size of jars, right? Versus anywhere between $14 to $18 if you buy it in a store. New. Okay. Anyway, as we're walking to the thrift store after we're done with Nestor's, the grocery store, who drives up? Who do we see? We see Tisha's dad. Okay. So, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Apparently he had cataract surgery, I think on just one eye. And he has glaucoma, but either or. I'm doing a video, Andre.
Oh, sorry.
Either or. Long story short, he ended up giving me $50. And I said, well, you don't have to give me $50. Oh, no. He works and stuff like that. He's doing pretty good for himself. So, okay. I said, all right. So I take the $50. I told Andre he can buy something for himself at the thrift store. All right. So then we get to the thrift store. And, oh, people, I bought these 2 beautiful bean pots. Wait till I show you. Oh, so nice. I'm so looking forward to cooking with them. Anyway, and I bought myself another pot because for whatever reason I keep buying pots and my son keeps running off with them. My younger son. So, better not touch this one because I'm looking for a specific size, right? Unless I put it someplace else, the other one, and I just haven't, I don't know where it is. Anyway, okay, so I ended up spending a few dollars there, and I have, you know, things piling up into the buggy, and I have this little granny pull buggy, right? So then after that, we go to Nestor's. Long story short, I ended up spending $300 there.
For jars?
Well, I only bought 2 cases of jars. Everything else was basically food.
Oh, yeah, like the vegetables.
Well, I didn't buy a lot of vegetables, but just...
Wait, you bought a salad? That was actually good.
Yeah, okay, don't interrupt me, please. So anyway, I spent $300. I got 2 more cases. What I got at the thrift store were the ones I'm going to can today with the half pint. I really like those ones. I got 2 cases, $4 each. So that's good. I have the lids. I'm rocking. Then I went back to Nestor's. I bought, honestly, I need to go back and buy another case of quarts. And they also had the 250 ml with the wide mouth that I really like. So I kind of want to go back to Nestor's and buy 1 or 2 or 3 more cases of jars just to have them on hand. I won't be using them, but I just want them on hand, right? Put them away and save it for a rainy day kind of thing, right? Because, you know, Pastor Granny might show up and give me something. Or whatever. Alright. So I ended up spending $315 on that. Right? So now I'm like overflowing with stuff. Okay? Right? Overflowing. But I'm stubborn. I don't want to pay $25 to take a taxi home because it costs $10 to $15 just for the van. And then, you know, another $10 just to, right? By the time you're done, it's like $25. Where, you know, if we just take our time and walk, right? Because I already spent too much money. Plus, I bought some vitamins in the drugstore. I bought some. I bought some vitamins in the drugstore for Andre and myself, right? So anyway, Amari already has his. So as we're walking out, Andre's pushing the buggy, I'm pulling this and carrying that. I mean, clearly we're struggling with it, right? I'm saying, well, maybe we can find somebody that's walking that way and I can offer them a bit of money and they can help carry a little bit, right? You know, just maybe somebody maybe needs $10 or something, right? And because I wasn't wanting to spend $25, right? And so anyway, not for a 15-minute walk, like 10-minute, 15-minute walk. Just wasn't up for it, right? So, I mean, obviously, with what we had, it would have taken more than 10 minutes, 15 minutes, but whatever. So it took us 20, 25 minutes, 30 minutes, even if we took our time with it, right? It would have been just a matter of time. Anyway, as we're walking, right, all of a sudden, there's, you know, and there's people sitting and whatever. This one guy, he gets up and he hands Andre a $20 bill. And I'm a little suspicious about this, but anyway, he hands Andre, and as he's handing Andre this $20 bill, he says, "Can he have this? Can, you know?" And I'm like, well, I'm looking, right, and it's a $20 bill. Now, don't forget, I was already given $50, right, and I already gave somebody $6. And I'm like, oh, well, okay, well, I mean, are you sure? Like, why? And he said, oh, no, just... And I said, okay, Andre, I guess it's your lucky day because this man, he can see that you're working really hard, right? To help Nana with pushing the buggy, right? Blah, blah, blah. And, you know, right? So I said, okay, he can keep it. So as we're now walking, he's got the, we thank the man, whatever, right? Okay. And there's that native guy with his little walker. And, I mean, I'm feeling all, I guess you could say, blessed. So I noticed the $5 in my pocket, so I ended up giving him another $5. as we're walking. He goes, oh, okay, thanks. So we got money being passed around town here. This is what I'm trying to say, okay? Right? It was so weird. So as we turn the corner now and we're walking, and we would have, like, we've done it before, people. It's not like we haven't done it. I mean, it's hard on me, though, right? Because I'm the one that has to take the brunt of the weight of whatever it is that I'm trying to get home, whether I'm carrying it or pushing it, all right? I'm the workhorse, okay? So anyway, a man and a woman, they come by and they say, oh, can we help you? How far are you going down? Where are you going? And I said, well, you know, we're going down that way, blah, 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 blah. I said, why, are you going that way? Because don't forget, I was going to offer to pay somebody to maybe help carry it with me, right? Because I was carrying and pulling. I was pulling the basket buggy, and I was carrying a bucket full of crap while Andre was pushing the buggy. And it had stuff in the buggy as well. So anyway, long story short, they ended up getting a taxi. I'm saying don't do it because it's going to cost too much money because we have to get a van. They said, oh, no, 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 no. They ended up coming with us, right, to the house because they decided to keep the taxi because I said, well, right, you know, I'm not very far. Okay, whatever, you know, let people be nice. It's okay to be nice, right? People don't always have bad intentions, just being nice. Right? You get people being nice to you, you get suspicious, right? What you be nice for? What is it that you want? I tell Andre, be careful what you take from people when they hand it to you because, you know, people want something, right? But I just acknowledge the fact that Andre was showing really good attitude, was being very helpful, wasn't complaining. Obviously, somebody else noticed that and wanted to reward him, and I didn't want to take away that acknowledgement, I guess you can say, unless, of course, that guy had an ulterior motive, but I don't know what that motive would be outside of, you know, maybe if and when he ever runs into Andre again, you know, which is highly unlikely, right? So anyway, we took the taxi, right, came to the house. The guy helped to unload the taxi. I talked to the woman. They were a young married couple. You know, I told her, I said, you know, kind of restores my faith in humanity, and I work on a nonprofit, and, you know, I need help, and I'm burning out, and, you know, it's been too many years, but blah, 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 and so anyway, told her to think about it, and I gave her my phone number, and then the guy, you know, he was carrying stuff, right? I guess he asked Andre how old he was, and Andre said, you know, I'm 10, it's my birthday in 4 days or something from now, and, well, this guy apparently, I guess, you know, he goes, oh, we're just nice Christian, well, I don't know if he said nice, but we're just Christian people, you know, we're trying to just blah, 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 and you know, I had a feeling that they were just trying to get in touch with, like, the good old days, people, where they could do outreach without having to jump through a million fucking hoops because of what our governments are doing. And, you know, he asked me if, you know, at some point Andre can connect with the group of young people that he's trying to, or he has, or he's trying to put together, or, you know, like I used to work at Gateway Place with the kids, you know, do youth programs. You know, he wants, whether he has active youth programs going, or whether he's trying to put youth programs going together. That's the sense that I got from it. And he's connected to a Christian church. And I said, oh, Christian, well, there you go. Well, we got Pastor Granny in the mix, and she needs a kitchen. I said, do you guys like food? Do you need food? And they go, yeah, we like food. And I'm like, well, I got lots of food. So, you know, but we need a kitchen. I got access to food. Not that I'm trying to give away Pastor Granny's food, but, you know, it's share the wealth, and she needs a kitchen, right? And it's going to take other people to help get that going. Now, whether it's going to be those people, if it was just a random act, or whether Andre and I were being targeted, or whether they're recruiting for, their religious indoctrination, or whether they're just trying to live like the good old days and create those youth programs like I used to work on when I lived at Gateway Place, or did park events or whatever it was, right? Not everybody has bad intentions. Okay? Just because you give something to somebody doesn't mean that you have a bad intention. So, it was just weird how money was being passed around and everybody was so friendly about it yesterday. First it was the 50, then it was the 6, and then it was the 20, and then it was whatever it costed for the taxi. Oh, and then I gave that man with the walker an extra 5, right? So it went to $11 that I gave him. Even though I was given 50 and Andre was given 20, and then somebody was kind enough to help me get home in a taxi that would have costed me $25 if I would have taken it on my own. That was weird. So anyway, we'll see what happens with that. It would be nice if we get a kitchen somewhere. And then I'm thinking, okay, so let's just say we get access to a kitchen through a church, right? Then what? We've got our government coming in there and scaring everybody off and locking them up in jail because they don't want to act like they live on Mars, where the air is polluted and there's like contagions all over the place. See? That's where it takes people like me to maybe have to go to jail to save them, even though they don't see it like that. For the ones that don't agree with you and think that you should just go do whatever a devil has to say. Right? So anyway, Andre, are you here? Andre? Andre?
Yeah? Call me?
Yes, please. Can you turn off this camera? Because my hands start to get brown because of the oxidization after a while. So as I make my videos over the next week or two, you're going to see my hands get darker and darker. Just hold on a minute. Just like when I'm working with walnuts, right?
But your hands get very dark with walnuts.
Yes, and I still have to crack the nuts and then freeze it. But right now we're working with grapes, so I'm just letting you know, okay? Now you can turn it off. Okay, hold on. Okay, so I have to check the day. It's September 18th, Saturday, right? 2021. So I ordered 2 more boxes of these jars, but this time with metal lids. They're okay. They fit the old school jars, but the old school jars like this are a little bigger and thicker. So it must be from, I don't know. Anyway, so I got the 4 jars. Was it 4? Only 4? With the plastic lids, with the soy beans. Alright, I opened up the organic kidney beans. I've got these 3 jars, plus a half a jar there, you can see, right, which I'll do. This is my jar from back in the day. It has no lid, but those metal lids on the other jars actually fit this, so I'm going to see if I can just order lids. Anyway, you can see how much is there, right? So we got the 3 jars and a half. So these ones are going into long-term food storage. At some point, I'm going to put oxygen absorbers in them. Okay, and I'm going to make covers for these jars, or I'm going to pack them into the original box that they came in because they sit four nice, which I may just do, and then this way I don't have to make covers for it. I don't know. Right, because it's easy. I think it would be easier to put it in storage in terms of putting it in a box, right, versus trying to find shelving for it. And then, of course, I did full 4 jars of this. Now, mind you, I got 50 pounds of soya beans, right? So I still have in the box down there, probably another 3 to 4 more jars, which I have because I had to buy another round of jars. So this time, instead of buying 4, I bought 8. So all in all, I bought 16 jars like this, right? Okay. Well, let's just face it, people. My government is stressing me out. Right? I feel so ill. You don't know. Oh, anyway. Okay, so we know we've been doing breadcrumbs. So I'm still working on it, right? Ideally, I'd like another case. Now, I have one more case of jars like this. So after these are off, I'm going to wash the other 4 like this. The other full case of this, like these types of jars, right? I still have breadcrumbs drying. So at some point, these jars will be replaced. And I'll probably get another full case of breadcrumbs, which gives me 2 full cases of breadcrumbs. So I'm happy. Hold on a minute. So by the time I'm done breadcrumbs, I'll have another full case. So that'll be 2 full cases of breadcrumbs. And then anything after that, I'm going to try and refrain from making breadcrumbs, quote unquote, outside of maybe croutons as we need them, and maybe bread pudding or something if I can get into that routine. Now, of course, I'm looking up chickpeas again in terms of nutrients, how easy it is to digest, and if it's good for weight gain, and blah 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 blah. Some people are saying not so easy to digest, other people saying yeah, right? But it isn't necessarily good for weight gain, although it helps with digestion and bowel movements. Where weight gain comes in more is with corn, apparently. Apparently, people. Again, I've never bothered to look for calorie content and that kind of stuff. Okay, you remember when they took Andre, I went down to 90 pounds, people. I was 105 pounds. And after they took Andre, within 6 months, I was down to 90 pounds. Okay? All right. Eventually, I got him back 14, 15 months later. Got myself up to 98 pounds in terms of weight. And then Uncle John was medically kidnapped. And I dropped back down to like 92, 93 pounds. So, was I looking to gain weight? No, but in the case of Amari, I guess if I had to choose between which is the better food group in terms of calories and putting on weight, believe it or not, it is corn. Now, don't mark my words 100%. I have to do more reading up on it. But that's not to say, that's not chickpeas. That's soybean. Anyway, that's not to say that soybean or chickpeas are not good for him. I bought the soybean because it was a fairly reasonable price at 50 pounds for the bag compared to other things, right? And again, obviously some people are prospering. Well, other people are just really not going anywhere except in a spiral downward spin. And that's kind of how I feel, people. It was raining last night, and that porch, and the steps, and everything. Oh my God. I don't know how I'm going to fix that shit. Like, you don't even want to know. So on top of everything else, that really depresses me too, right? But after this is all said and done, all I got is a box of milk down there, pretty much, in terms of this stuff that I bought, right? That's the non-fat powder milk. And then we've got the rest of the soybean in there. Plus, we've got the miscellaneous things that I bought. So I'm going to have to get another case of jars so that I can take all those little miscellaneous bags of whatever and fill them up. And then those, what's there, will be filled up. And I'll start using those first, right? In terms of, I'm not opening up these ones. Well, you know, whatever it is that I've got in that box, we'll come to that for another day. Okay, so as you can see, I just for now put them in the box. Now I do want to put oxygen absorbers in them, but I'm not going to do that until I'm ready to do them all in terms of what I want to do. Right? I don't know if it will make much of a difference in these jars because they're not like, you know, they say they seal tight. I mean, it is pretty tight, but either or, you know, this is just good enough. Right, now whether I leave them like that, in terms of, the point was to get them out of the bag, because they say that, you know, because they're organic, right, so it takes, you know, a little, what is that called, like their shelf life apparently isn't as long, but if you do like this, right, this, it can last for years, okay? So, for now, that's one box done. And now I've got one more like this. The other ones, jars are underneath in there. Remember, I'm going to make those covers for them. I didn't save the box. I didn't expect to buy 2 more boxes, right? But, anyway, I had to. Okay, do you see what's there? What is that? Oh my. These are the ones with the seeds in them. This year I'm going to try and do something different. I'm just going to de-seed them, but I'm not going to take out the skin and separate them and dehydrate them, because I did that last year and that powder is still sitting in that jar, and people pay good money for that. It's called, oh, what is it called? I can't think of it right now, but it's specifically grape skin, and it's very, very nutritional. So I don't need juice because I'm not mix matching, and I've got apples for this. I can do straight up grape sauce for amari. And I can do apple from the tree with grapes, right? But in this situation, I'm going to do one batch with the skin on, just take out the seeds, because these ones have seeds in them, right? You can see. So it's a real chore, because you have to take them out, right? As a matter of fact, I'll take out a couple, and because these are nice and fresh, and I've got a couple of fresh apple seeds. April, are you watching? Okay. I'll throw in a couple of grape seeds, right? Fresh ones, you'll see. And some fresh apple seeds that I've been working with. And your daughter can start sprouting them over the winter. And she'll get a little apple tree, or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. And she'll probably get some little grapevines grown too. Hold on.